Well, this is a video I didn't want to have to make. What's up, guys? My name's Killer Cam 1020. You may know me already as the guy who reviews handhelds and some other tech, PlayStation 5 Pro, whatever, AR glasses, I feel like I had to make this video because handheld gaming prices are just becoming absurd at this point. To say it lightly. Earlier this month, we saw the full reveal of the Lenovo Legion Go 2. It doesn't really feel like a direct sequel, to be honest, because of the price tag. It's quite frankly ridiculous. It's $1350 USD. Price tag is practically double what the original Lenovo Legion Go price was. To be honest, I really do have an issue with this price. And it's not only the Lenovo that's in the wrong here. We got like the MSI Claw A8 is supposed to be $1,100 plus. And we have even the Xbox handhelds that are coming out from Asus, the Xbox Allies or Ally Xboxes, whatever. What the hell are they even called? Yeah, we have those coming out, and those are supposed to be super expensive too. It's just getting crazy at this point. We have sort of just kind of lost our way here with the handheld pricing. You could get a decent laptop with a full dedicated GPU for the price of the Lenovo Legion Go 2. So I don't know why we're heading into this laptop pricing territory when the handhelds can't compete with dedicated graphics. They just cannot. I don't care how powerful the Z2 Extreme is. It's not going to beat an RTX 4060 or 5060. We're on 50 series now. Well, it probably won't even beat 4060. Let's be honest, it won't even touch it. This is becoming like a luxury hobby to the point where it doesn't even seem worth it for the average person. It's becoming more and more niche every year, it seems. Like, look at where we're at right now even. Look at the ROG Ally X. It's a $900 console. It's crazy. And then look at the MSI Claw A8 AI Plus, which is $1,000. I mean, I reviewed that. These are great handhelds. Don't get me wrong. I reviewed both of them, and they're great devices. I mean, you could use it as a dedicated desktop if you really wanted to. And they play almost every single game with a lot of compromises, of course, but they do play almost every single game you could throw at it. My issue with this is that we started with the Steam Deck, right? I mean, there were some other handhelds before then by like, WinGPD, whatever they're called, and some other, more niche companies that were working on them. But the Steam Deck really was the handheld that got the ball rolling for PC gaming. And that console is still good to this day. It's not powerful, but it's still good. It's usable. It's more than usable. I love using my Steam Deck OLED. And it's using technology from how many years ago at this point? 3-4 years ago? 5 years ago? I don't know. Someone look it up. Editor, look it up. We sort of just lost sight of what the goal here was, right? We're talking about how these handhelds are like supposed to, compete with each other, but they don't seem like they're competing with each other. They're competing for the biggest price tag with the most advances, right? That's what it looks like where we're heading at this point. And the other real issue that I sort of have with this is that if we look at the Z1 Extreme, which is a few years old at this point, and compare it to the Z2 Extreme, if you look at the benchmarks at like what their peak power is, when they're fully loaded, I guess you could say, you're getting close to like 10% differences here. And they're charging double the price for a new version of it. Of course, yeah. The Legion Go 2 has an OLED display. That's amazing. It's a VRR OLED 144 hertz display, 1200p. That's great. I love that. That's amazing. And I can't wait to actually check that out. I mean, I did check it out. I played with it at CES. I was psyched for this console, but I didn't expect it to be over $1,000 because it doesn't make sense to spend over $1,000 on a handheld when you could just buy a laptop. Of course, you can't play with a laptop like as easily or as conveniently as a handheld, but it makes more sense if you're looking at it from a standpoint of power and value. And that's sort of why I made a video on my ROG Ally and kind of just fixing it for what I really was looking for, right? If you guys want to watch that video, I'll leave the link over here somewhere. Yeah, I took a $499 console, which you can find the Ally Z1 Extreme on sale for sometimes for around $500, even possibly even cheaper at this point. It's old. You could probably get one used for even cheaper. And then just change the battery out, make it better. And it still has a great chip inside with the Z1 Extreme. The Z2 Extreme is much better at lower power levels. It's more efficient. You can use it for longer or whatever, but you know, you could remedy that by swapping a battery into the OG ROG Ally and kind of just cut your losses there. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it the way it is right now, the way I made it. It's a much better device, and it didn't cost me very much to upgrade. I don't see the reason why I should upgrade from that to a new handheld when there's only a 10% power difference in its total. But yeah, the power is just not a generational leap. And so like, it concerns me for where we're heading in the market right now. We're sort of focusing so heavily on these grandiose features with the OLED display, making the console bigger for whatever reason, making the console more expensive by doing this, adding extra unnecessary RAM for future proofing for some reason. These are great things to have, don't get me wrong. These are all great features to have. I love having 32 gigabytes of RAM in a handheld. That's great, because then I know that like I will never need more, of course, but it drives up the price of the handheld. I even talked about this in a lot of my previous videos, like the Legion Go S video and the MSI Claw video. It doesn't seem like the RAM really does anything for today's games. Personally, I think the direction that we should have gone in is taking what we already have with the Z1 Extreme handhelds and perfecting them. Taking the ROG Ally and, well, we did that with the Ally X, right? We made the Ally X the better version of the ROG Ally, but let's make it the same price, right? So we'll take the existing chip, the same amount of RAM even. We don't have to upgrade the RAM, and make the battery bigger, make the handheld more comfortable, make the display better by putting in an OLED display, make the joysticks holophonic joysticks, right? Let's do these things. We don't need the new chips apparently that are causing the price to go up, and making the handhelds bigger, heavier, and produce more heat. That's the other issue using newer, more powerful chips, is that they produce more heat, and heat causes throttling. So we're not getting the total power of the chip at whenever we're using a handheld, unless it has a very good cooling system, which of course I don't know that yet. I don't know what the performance of these handhelds are. I haven't really tested one yet, so I don't know. I'm just speculating. We could shrink the die size of the Z1 Extreme, making it more efficient, making it produce less heat. We could have just thrown in an OLED display, like I said, and just perfected what we already had. Make it a smaller device even if we wanted to. Make a light version of the ROG Ally. Why didn't we just do these things? Why didn't we did do that with the Legion Go S, but that was still expensive for whatever reason. And it's used the same Z1 Extreme chip, and also used a crappier chip with the Z2 Go, and it was still expensive. So it's just like, I'm seeing a lot of issues right now with how these companies are operating and how they're thinking what the consumer wants, because we don't want more expensive. We want better handhelds for the same price. That sounds like I'm asking for a lot here, but what I just described was basically, why don't we just refine what we already have and then charge the same price of it and lower the price of the previous versions? That's what Valve did with the Steam Deck OLED. That is what we should be looking for. We should be taking the ROG Ally and making an OLED model, taking the Legion Go, making an OLED model, and perfect some of the problems, or fix some of the problems rather, that we had with the Legion Go and ROG Ally. Instead, with the Legion Go 2, it's just becoming too expensive, of course. I think we really do need to follow what Valve has shown us. The blueprint is already there. If we would just follow the blueprint that Valve put out for us, I think we would have less issues with the pricing, and I think people would be happier. And I could be completely wrong about this. You could completely disagree with me, and that's totally fine. I am just talking from my perspective as a person who has played with a lot of handhelds, who has reviewed a lot of handhelds, who has seen the future of handhelds even. And I think that this would have been a better option, especially with all the tariff stuff going on. It's better to make something that's more affordable with parts that already exist, even with research and development that's already existed. Right now, I am very concerned for the trajectory that the handheld industry is heading. I don't want to see handheld gaming become like a niche hobby more so than it already is. And what the industry is doing is pushing more and more people towards the Steam Deck and Switch, or Switch 2 at this point. And I don't know if they recognize this and then they were like, well, we're still going to make a lot of money because we made the handheld more expensive, even though less people will buy it, or if this is something that maybe they miscalculated, right? because I don't think people are going to understand that the Xbox allies are going to be out of most people's price ranges that are Xbox fans. Because when you think of Xbox, you think of value, right? A $499 console. Well, it's $599 now, thanks to tariffs, of course. And yeah, you kind of think of value when it comes to that stuff. The way I'm seeing it is that more and more people are going to be pushed towards Valve, and Valve is going to wait to make the Steam Deck 2 because they know that the prices are probably astronomical right now. The industry really needs to just follow Valve's blueprint. That's really my conclusion here. I think that if they learn from Valve's example, they would rebuild trust with the consumers, and I think the industry would be better off for it. That's all I'm really here to say. So if anyone from the industry is watching this, which some of the people who do view my videos are, I hope you hear me out and we see some change. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Killer Cam. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.